Hello, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Hey. Greetings. Hello, 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 hello. Hi. Beautiful to see you all on the inside. We're here for another live with another fellow. Very talented fellow at that. Very excited to talk to him today. If you are in the Arima area, we have our open day today. Y'all could come up, talk to us, come up, see what we up to, see what this space look like. There's stuff on sale. There's art on the walls. You know, there's a space to just congregate and chill and relax, you know. And that's going to be today from 2 p.m. From 10 a.m. So from 10 a.m. this morning till 5 p.m. this evening. We're actually supposed to have a workshop, free workshop, all free, happening at 1:30, and it is a business model canvas workshop. So if you're somebody who really looking to start a small business, or a business just in general, feel free to make it up. If you could make it in 30 minutes, come up and sit in on that workshop. And we also have some film screenings at 3 p.m. And we have an event this evening. It is East Talks. Yes, we also have that event starting this evening. East Talks Culture Lingo. It's a polyglot mixer for those of you who speak several languages. Today is going to be Spanish and French, and that's from 6 p.m. right? So from 6 p.m. to like around 9, and there's gonna be little games and different interactions. So those of you who speak multiple language, dust off, you know, those different tongues and come up to East Yard. So Isaiah is Isaiah is here. He's sending me a request. Feel free to share the live with as many people as you can. I think Isaiah has a lot to share. Very, very interesting individual. So we're gonna jump into the vibes and see what Isaiah has to say. But for those of you who feel like you all could make it up, you all wanna have a little conversation with us. Needy team, chill, listen to some music. The music off right now because of course I have to do this live IG chat with Isaiah. I'm gonna invite him to another fellow. We interviewed Danae already, but Danae is having an exhibition opening today. Feel free to drop the details for that event in the comments, Danae. You know, somebody might be interested in coming through. Right? How are you, Isaiah?
I'm good. I'm good. Good day. Greetings, everyone.
Isaiah, why we can't see your face?
This is my face.
Why are we not seeing your face?
This is my face.
Is it now?
Yeah, it is.
Um, right. So Olia, share the live, and in the meantime, Isaiah, tell us what you had for lunch today.
I haven't eaten lunch yet.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah,
crazy. It's 1 p.m. Right? I'm saying that's crazy, but I also haven't eaten yet. It's just
right.
I wouldn't be able to enjoy my lunch until I finish, do what I need to do. That's usually the case with me. Um,
Likewise.
So we're gonna jump right into it. For those of you who are not familiar with the live series and why we're doing the live series, it's just for us to introduce our fellows with the world. Get you all to get a little more invested in the fellowship, maybe even interested in the fellowship for when the next cycle of the fellowship comes around, because it is something that I think every creative entrepreneur or business person should experience and be a part of. So the Amplify Connect social creative social entrepreneurship, just it's just a fellowship that helps young persons just position themselves to have much more successful small businesses, social impact businesses, right? And so one of those fellows is Isaiah, aka the Izzy Dream. And I love how we on that topic because I really want to know who is the Izzy Dream. Tell us about the name, the artist, the story behind you. Give us it from as early as you can. Tell us about yourself.
To be honest, I kind of did not hear the start of that monologue that you said. But to answer the
Who?
question,
Okay.
as in the other stuff before the question. But
Okay.
to answer the question, I would say that I'm still figuring out who I am, honestly and truly. I think that's like an everyday process. Um, it does change with time and experiences. Um, to really see where it all started. Um, for me, expression has always been a part of my life. And yeah, for as long as I can remember, I've always like expressed myself, whether it be creatively, through different mediums, visual, um, sound, film, and creative writing, and essentially overarching theme of storytelling.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit behind, like, why did you name yourself the Izzy Dream?
I don't say I need myself that. I think in the current era that we have, there's this whole idea of personal branding, and I study marketing. So, I mean, if I'm to give a story for to be lighthearted, I used to do YouTube like way back. I used to do YouTube videos, and I would always say like, okay, well, I had a dream of being, I guess, a celebrity or popular or famous. And it was like my dream, and my name is Isaiah, and Easy is short, so the Easy Dream.
Nice.
Yeah,
So according to your bio, which I really haven't read any of the fellows' bios because I feel like
right,
we here so we could kind of get to know you from scratch.
right.
Um, your work spans across visual art, digital design, graffiti, film, videos, and you just said that you studied marketing.
Yeah.
How do those different mediums help you express yourself? What role do they play in your self expression?
Um, Honestly, I think it's the other way around, as in I express when these things are labeled in this particular type of way. I don't think I express myself thinking, well, this is about marketing and this is about graffiti and this is about um, storytelling. Um, because it's in it for us to be creative. I think it's a natural thing. It's human nature to be curious more so, and just following through that curiosity. And then whatever comes out or unfolds, I think we do label those things as such.
Okay. There's something that you mentioned about your work addressing specific issues, and you use the contrast between upper class and middle class, and that inner expression, outward expression. Um, what do those themes mean to you specifically, and can you give us a little bit of why those things are important?
Um, I would say that that body of work essentially would be a time period of 2022, 2021 during the pandemic, lockdown, when I had my first solo exhibition at ECR, Big Up ECR. Kevin won my extension for, I think he saw my work, but I was posting online. I had like a online exhibition at a point in time because, everything was online, and he recognized and he reached out to me, and that's how we initiated the exhibition. Truly one of, I would say within my career, one of the best moments, definitely. Um, and during that period of time, my personal experiences kind of, that was more of the expression or the outpouring of emotions that I dealt with at a point in time. To give it a team, I would say definitely I was angry because of the divide that we had during that era where, some were struggling and some definitely wasn't feeling the effects of the pandemic and, loss of jobs, lack of opportunities and stuff like that. So it was coming from a place of anger and, resentment towards the different social classes, and there's the divide and understanding, where I stood within that whole realm of existence. Um, Not to say that I don't share those same sentiments at this point in time, but my perspective on it has definitely changed. Um, to say how important it is, I mean, it's important as people want it to be, because with everything that we experience in life, like if we go back to the period of time of Black Lives Matter, I think everything does come within phases or comes within trends, sorry to say. So, something that might be a current trend or um, important today within the span of Israel-Iran attack, it would definitely be lost in the whole media landscape. So it is important as people want it to be on it isn't important as it affects each individual, because I don't think we all experience the same thing at the same point in time. Some feelings or some emotions or some particular issues may be relatable across the board, but I don't think it's ever, well, depending to the span or the impact that it has. Um, but I mean, essentially, that's, I don't want to say like that is life, but it is a part of the economical structure in which we do exist. We live in a capitalistic structure. It's, I guess, what this program essentially is trying to help in giving us the tools and other fellows the tools essentially to, you know, become a part of that structure of business and creating income for yourself and getting resources and being fruitful in, having a substantial lifestyle. Um, I think I'm going off the topic. What was the question again?
I have a new question. So, you mentioned that, oh, I'm paraphrasing here, that basically that was something that you cared about before, and that the things that you care about keeps changing as times go, which is true. But I
Yeah.
feel like as an artist, as a creative, there are themes and there are things that we fundamentally care about throughout our careers that will always sort of in some distant way affect our work or influence or inspire our work. And I want to know, what is that for you?
But I think for me, it's not necessarily about one particular thing. I think I create from my experiences, and as I go through life, I don't experience the same thing over and over consistently. I think it's important for creators, especially within, you know, this technological era, to adapt, because let's just say AI, as in technology, um, there was an AI 5 years ago, and how AI would now help essentially in, helping you create. I think that's coming from a different point of view. And not to say that you won't have a core meaning or purpose with any things that you do. I think that's important for anyone to have, some sort of grounding in
Oh,
personality, right?
mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I think for me, it changes. It definitely does. It does change because, experiences.
Okay. Um, there's a term that you use in your bio, visual vigilante. I have
Yeah.
no idea what that means. And I'm sure none of us here knows what that means. Can you give us a little deep dive and expand on that a little bit more?
Well, to be honest, that's a bio that, I conjured up on ChatGPT, right? So not to say I don't know what it means, but I do think just like art, everything is very much perspective or of the one person's opinion. So it can mean whatever you want it to mean, honestly. And to me, it just means a creative vigilante. Yeah,
Okay. Um, Now you applied um, for the fellowship
yeah.
and you were successful, hence why we're here. What I want to know is what exactly are the reasons for you applying for the fellowship and what do you hope to get or gain from the fellowship at the end of the 8 months?
Um, like I said earlier, my first exhibition was at ECR, so I've definitely been locked into all the things that Kevin has been doing there. Um, so obviously I saw it and curiosity was intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Having a business, being in business for a period of time, your saying goes there, you could always learn things. There's knowledge is essential. Um, it's always good to be a sponge and to soak up as much knowledge as you could. So, it was that curiosity for me to gain more insight and knowledge into how I could help essentially the things that I want to do, or what insight I could gain in, you know, bringing the ideas that I want to into fruition. Um, and so far, I think, it's definitely the camaraderie, the collaboration, getting to connect, network with other creators has been something I got out of it, or been getting out of it, community, and yeah, and just the ability to have a platform to, express who I am and talk, and in hopes that what I say could inspire others.
Okay. So I'm gonna tax you a little bit here, right? What is one breakthrough you've had since joining the fellowship?
One breakthrough of how I since joining fellowship. I think that's a difficult question to answer because I think the time frame of the fellowship hasn't been like a linear time frame to say, well, it's like a consistent everyday thing to really draw reference on one particular thing. So I think it was a kind of difficult question to answer, to be honest.
That's okay. We can move on. Um, how do you see your art impacting the community that you hope to serve with your social enterprise? Maybe you could start by telling us a little bit about your social enterprise and what it aims to do, who it serves, and how you see it contributing to social change within Trinidad and Tobago.
The entrepreneurial venture that I chose to, I guess, pursue was one that I've been doing for a while now because here on this page, Pineapples on Pizza Studio, at my first exhibition, I interviewed some of the creatives that attended, where, I asked particular questions that young creators, especially with or are or have been experiencing, um, as insight to identity, um, in hopes to inspire, in hopes to create content beyond the norm, the usual, um, everyday mode of consumption that isn't necessarily informative and inspirational type of way. Um, I think my art, so that's my work or my creativity expressions so far have been, in the realm of creating conversation and inspiration for others who, within the same realm of creativity and would like to do creative things.
Okay. Um, and how does that expand beyond like throughout Trinidad and Tobago, what exactly is going to be the end goal for pineapples on pizzas?
Studio, Pineapple on Pizza Studio. Today is
Pineapple
actually
on
World
pizza.
Pizza Day, so be a lot. Um, how does it expand? That's an interesting question. That's a good question. I think that's up to the audience, essentially. I think my purpose is to really capture the now and capture creators and ask the questions, and I could only hope that people would consume it in I wouldn't say intentful way, with intention to take what is being said and relate in hopes that it will inspire them to create and to follow their creative ventures.
Beautiful. I know we here in the Caribbean, not all of our viewers are from Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
In fact, we have someone here from I think Canada, Toronto, Canada, this morning at the open day. And so how do you see your vision expanding like globally? Because I mean, storytelling and having a different way of expressing and showcasing the work of artists and creatives is something we want to do all over the world, you know. How do you see your work expanding beyond our borders?
To be honest, I haven't reached that stage yet. I think I taking one step at a time and like focusing within my homeland, my country, Trinidad and Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
Much love to Trinidad and Tobago. I love it here, and I'm definitely doing it for the people here. And as far as it could reach, like I mean, it would be great, but the focus is definitely here.
Okay. What is one thing like a temperament or characteristic or trait you think an artist such as yourself um need to have to exist in this creative and entrepreneurial landscape?
Um, well, definitely confidence, self-esteem. Um, you have to be slightly delusional, definitely. Um, you can't have any fear. Fear will definitely hold you back. You know, that's your usual cliche, uplifting, positive vibes, energy that, we all, quote unquote, um, preach.
Mm,
But yeah, I think that just do it and you'd figure out the way. And like people would say a lot of things. And it's about saying a lot of things negatively because I think a lot of times we project, especially in Trinidad, not to go into the whole crab bucket, you know, ideology. But yeah, a lot of times that, especially in creative ventures, a lot of times you don't really understand it, especially when you don't have a background within that. And it's 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 an emotional space as well because I think creatives do tap into a lot of emotion and there's lots of vulnerability within that. So it is a difficult and it's a brave and it's a very strong-minded um, fight or the ability to actually put yourself out there and then to get the feedback and then to actually analyze feedback as just this representation of what you do or who you are. And I would say most times, not to say that you can't take those things into consideration and, you know, but not wholeheartedly. You definitely need to just be true to yourself. And if one, two, three people are the only ones that contribute or would view or see your stuff, I think that doesn't matter because once it means something to you, then that's all that should matter. That's all that should matter is, the impact that it has for you.
very true. I guess one thing that's very important, I think, for our viewers is that your dream is your dream, and not everybody needs to understand it.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
but that shouldn't negate whether you make it exist or not, or you continue to make it exist.
Yeah.
So I echo those sentiments. What advice would you give to young artists who feel like they don't really fit into traditional spaces.
Um, I think that's why I'm here with my mascot. You know, it's about it's really doing it, even though people tell you not to. And I think we all have different influences. I would go into why, the influence that would have caused this moment here right now. But I mean, it's easy for me to say, well, don't study what people say, just do you. But we have something called peer pressure, and we have, self-esteem and what this person gonna think about me. That's just normal human traits or characteristics. I wouldn't necessarily say they are flaws because, we live in a society, it's a quote unquote democracy. So essentially, how the wider community thinks is what will mold you into your behavior and how you act. And so it's a hard thing to break, essentially. I would just say give it time. I think if you were to talk to me probably 10 years ago, I would have definitely not been this type of individual that you're speaking to now. And it's only with time on me figuring out myself and being independent and the different experiences I went through that time, which gave me the confidence essentially to be okay with who I am and how I think and not necessarily um let the way that others think about me affect the way that I make decisions and do particular things. So I would say definitely give yourself time. Don't be too hard on yourself of yourself with that subconscious within your mind. You should always try to speak good things, positive thoughts, because the world already it wants you to be a particular type of way, and it's easy to let those voice.
I think I lost you there, Isaiah. Am I hearing you?
Um, huh?
Okay, hearing you now. All
Yeah,
right.
sorry, I got a call. Sorry about
Okay, okay.
yeah, so yeah, just stay true to yourself and give yourself time essentially because I know how it is to be younger and to very much want to fit in, but as you get older and you experience more stuff, you more be solidified within your identity.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to let you all know, for those of you all who are still here listening, that if you all have questions for Isaiah, if there are things that you wanna, I don't know how much of you all have seen his art before. Maybe Isaiah, you can tell us where we can find your pieces, where we can go to look to
Oh, I
see.
also had a question too.
Yeah.
I was saying I had a question.
Oh, you have a question?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. So I attended the Two Seasons Poetry Slam for the first time. I
Mm-hmm.
saw your performance, which I definitely did enjoy. And I wanted to ask you, like, because first of all, how I perceived it was very much like breaking the fourth wall of
Mm-hmm.
kind of stating who you were in that space and then putting the audience into perspective, the judges into perspective, and the competition and a whole into perspective. Was that the intention?
Of course, I'm very intentional with my work. I don't, I don't perform poems that I don't care about or connect with in any type of way.
Right.
There's never going to be a time I'll just do a poem for doing a poem's sake. I'm not going to waste time writing something that I don't care about. So the intention was to um to put the slam in
Right.
perspective
Right.
and to put us, the competitors, poets, my fellow competitors, on the stand on trial almost, right?
Yeah.
Put the judges on trial, put the audience on trial, and really get people to think about what they're contributing to when they don't show up as their authentic selves,
Yeah.
and the audience, what they contribute to when they don't, when they only want to be entertained and they don't want to think and they don't want to have like discourse about like serious issues. And sometimes I feel like you were saying before, like you really do have to be confident in yourself and in your art and not care about people's opinions about
Yeah.
you, because it takes bravery to just kind of break away from the the status quo and the
Yeah,
mindlessness of it all and just be like, hey, I awake and I see in this and this is what it is and
yeah,
that's just what it is, you know.
yeah,
So it was definitely intentional. And for people who write, like I go through so much stages of poems, and I don't perform a single word unless like it there's intention behind even the pauses, you know. It's so
yeah,
meticulous, but that's just for me. I know
yeah.
not a lot of people as meticulous as that, but that's just the vibes, you know.
No, I understand. I'm curious, if you had one, would you come back again, given
Yeah,
that piece?
yeah,
So
I would come back again. I might have had to do a follow up.
interesting, interesting, interesting. It seems like he was like, you know, like fighting the system at that point in time. So I thought it would have been like that, you know.
No, I won before. Yeah, I won the
Yeah, yeah, I
slam
know you.
before.
Yeah,
But for me, the fight doesn't end when you have one little victory. You know, we have to
yeah,
continue. Even after we are dead and gone, there will be other artists fighting the same fight we're trying to fight here. So, I
yeah,
don't really believe in. I don't really believe in complete burnout of things.
yeah.
Like just removing yourself from it because then at some point you also become part of the problem for not saying anything. You know.
True,
Yeah.
true.
Any more questions or are you good?
No, no, I just had to ask, you know, I was just curious about that. Like, I
Um,
like the delivery of that.
yeah, boy, I really enjoy performing that poem for real, for real. Um, I have another question for you. How does or how will collaboration play a part in Pineapple on Pizza's studio and the work that you hope to do?
Um, if you go on the page right now, like I said, with the different interviews I did when I had my first exhibition, it
Mm-hmm.
was not necessarily about me having a solo exhibition, about kind of spotlight on the artists that attended at a point in time. So essentially, it's about, you know, following the careers, kind of like media
Right.
of particular artists, and you know, just giving them a platform to share and hope that it would inspire other artists. And that's the sense of the collaboration within it.
I like it. I know here, I'm looking at it here.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I like this. I like the minimalist
yeah.
aesthetic of it. Very
Well,
to the
thank you.
point. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, this is clean. Um, Jordan says he just checked out your work. It's awesome. And the red set is super cool. I
yeah.
think he's
Thank
talking
you.
from Izzy Dream, right? Izzy
Um,
Dream.
Probably. Thank you.
I'm not
Appreciate
seeing
that.
red on pineapples. Is pineapple is yellow, you know, Jordan. Right? Pineapple pineapples is yellow. Um it's interesting how you have chosen to express yourself. Very mysterious fella. Very reserved fella.
Right.
Um I wanna ask, are there any like who's your favorite artist?
I think Donald Trump is my favorite artist.
So
Yeah.
so so don't make me laugh here. Why is Donald
Well,
Trump your favorite artist?
because you know he if you follow his career from The Apprentice to being the president of the United States of America, it kind of shows the current states and reality that we live in. It's about entertainment.
So, do you see your work only as entertainment, or is it more than entertainment?
I mean, it doesn't matter how I see it. Once I put it online, that's for everyone else to interpret it. And
Is
that's
it?
essentially, yeah, that's the current state that we live in. We no longer have control once it hits online.
I don't 100% believe that to be true. We do have some form of control. Not with the interpretations of the art, but the intention of the art. We do have control over that, you know. We're not just gonna put it out there and not give it meaning and not say what it is, you know.
Well, within creating definitely does come from a place of control. Um, and I say control lightly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but we the space of the internet. Yes, that's true. That's right. I said I was gonna say Donald Trump, and I did it. So I said it. Okay, nice. Um, but yeah, the space that we live in, we do live in this hyper reality of of images, videos, pictures, and we're constantly bombarded with information. So yes, you could have intent, but how well does that intent hold its value when it's within a scroll? You could just see something entirely different that kind of creates a different mindset or perspective upon a particular person's opinions or views. It's well, that's just how I feel.
Fair enough.
You know,
I if you didn't have any limitations, like if resources wasn't a problem and you had access to everything possible,
yeah.
to be able to make whatever you want to make, what would be the next thing you would make or the next project you would undertake?
I'll definitely build a house in the hills somewhere and just stay there for the rest of my life.
Stay
Yeah,
there and do what? What are we doing in the house?
just exist, just exist, do everything that I want to do, and not have anyone's, interpretations on it. Just be me.
Just create, just do your thing.
Yep,
Um, as we exist right now in this
right.
present future, what is one tool you just can't live without? And don't say a phone. Like,
Oh, definitely was not gonna say my phone.
okay, what is one
I
tool
would
you
like to
can't
throw that away very far away. One tool I can't live without is Lava Tool.
I I I accept in it. I would
Yeah.
accept it as a tool, um, a material.
So I think some people make it a tool sometimes,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
Some people put value to it, and some people put um how to say conditions to it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So love or just any kind of love, unconditional love, conditional love,
I would just say love. Love. I
just
think you need
love,
love. Yeah, love is essential.
vibes. I'm gonna open up the floor for some questions as we wind down. If
Yeah,
you all have any questions for Isaiah, feel free to drop it. Drop it in the comments so we could have him answer some of those questions.
just
Um,
wanna big up Joel Joe in the chat. I see you, sir. Thanks for being here. And everyone that's here, thank you. I appreciate you all, taking time to come and listen to me.
I'm wondering if Alicia is still here. Alicia, are you still here with us? I don't feel Alicia here with us. She would have been lighting up those comments, the comments by now.
I don't know. That's fine.
Um, I have two more questions.
Listen,
I'm seeing Gramazone Papi here asking, how do you combat the idea of spectacle in your arts?
that's a good question and also a good name. Um, how do I combat the idea of spectacle in my art? To be honest, I don't understand that question. What does that mean?
Um, I wanna make a comment that he means um the
Entertainment of it?
showmanship, the you know performance of
Um,
it, of the presentation. I'm not quite sure. Maybe
I,
you can give us a little more expansion on that, Gramazone Pappy, so he could understand it a little better.
all right, I think that's what he meant. I don't think I have to combat it. I accept it. I mean, it's about adapting, and this is the realm that we live in. It's why I have this mask on.
You fully understand it, buddy. You made art about the society of spectacle and offered a critique of capitalism. Don't play shy about your own career and work now. He kind of shy in truth and no grandma's own papi. I agree
Who is
with
this guy? Who is this guy? Who are you?
you. We
No,
actually supposed to meet with you today, so where are you? Why are you not at ECR?
who is this? Who is this dude? Who is this guy? Like, why does he know these things? Like, these are stuff that I did way back when.
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, and that's what we talking about before. Like, if you really do appreciate an artist's work, I feel like it's your duty it's your duty to follow their work and try to understand why and how the work was created and for what purpose the work was created,
yeah, I
You
get that. I totally get
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
So I
get
feel
that.
like he's a fan. Let we talk about that. I think Grandma's own papi's a big fan.
I don't have
And
fans. I have supporters, and I
he's
appreciate you supporting, bro.
he's been supporting you for a while now.
I appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Um, yeah, I think I answered it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I guess people would say that's selling out, but um, I think the world economy runs on resources. It's the GDP. It's you need to create, you need to product, service, and the only way you could do those things is by actually making a particular type of income to, you know, to get more resources to continue doing what you're doing. And it
Yep.
sucks, honestly. I know a lot of young rebels will be like, yeah, the system, it's a Babylon thing, but I think you could figure ways to navigate, not to lose yourself within it, because
Yeah.
money is real, but it isn't real, and it's about figuring out how you could um just find your purpose within that realm and stay true to yourself while doing it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that answers your question, Grandma's own papi. Anyone else?
Why you? I
That's
think
the
you should.
that's the person name. I'm addressing the person.
Yeah, I
Right?
think that's one too many times. This means that no, take us.
I like the name, I appreciate the name. It's
I didn't
creative.
like the name the two times. The two times I liked it. The two times it was said. Yeah, yeah.
um my last two questions. The first one is what is the most unexpected place you've found inspiration?
I don't think I could sit on here.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think
All
I don't think
right.
that's PG for ACR. Yeah, but unexpected place that I found. I was saying heartbreak. In heartbreak.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like heartbreak, and for me as an artist, I realize why some of my favorite songs are from or favorite albums rather are
yeah,
from a period of in those artists' life where they were going through some
yeah,
type of divorce or some type of breakup or something.
yeah.
Some of Adele's best music came from
Those
her.
emotional times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
give
yeah,
on. Like, come on, it's,
yeah.
it's the best. It's the best art. When your heart break, I love it. I love a good
And
heartbreak for that. For that,
yeah,
for that
yeah.
alone.
I
um,
think that's why we suffer as artists, because that's what people want from us. They want our suffering.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's a whole lot of conversation.
it
That
is.
could probably have another day. But my last question is, what is a quote or mantra that keeps you going, that keeps you creating, that ensures almost that you don't give up?
The bills gotta get paid. Yep.
It's
Yeah,
true.
it is true.
It's true. It's
Definitely true.
perfect.
I
Yeah.
mean, I mean that's one way to look at it. But if I want to be inspirational,
Mm-hmm.
um, let's see, uh, trust the process.
Trust the
Trust the process.
process.
Yeah,
All I
yeah,
heard, all I heard from Isaiah first, the Easy Dream said, trust the process. Um, I think that's important. I don't have any more questions here,
okay,
but I'm gonna give folks a little 2 minutes to ask some or make some closing statements, remarks, compliments, anything that you all have to throw at him right now, this is your opportunity to do so. We're looking to wrap up. As I told you all before at the beginning of the live, today is ISIAD's open day. Come talk to Jonathan and find out what is be going through his mind when he creates his art. Come talk to me. Come talk to Kevon is here. There are items on sale. Find out how you could get involved. We here until 5 p.m. and then from 6 to 9 we have our East Talks Culture Lingo polyglot mixer. That should be cool. If you speak a second or third language, come through. We do in Spanish and French today only though. We making considerations for German and maybe Italian in the future, but y'all will be first to know when that edition of it is launched. Isaiah, but it was a pleasure talking to you today and
Some
getting.
other house announcements. Sorry to cut you off. Some other
Mhm.
house announcements. I think Dini has a exhibition opening today at 5.
Yes.
For the Spain in St. James. Good luck to her on that. Hope it goes well. We're here. We're locked in pineapples on pizza. You know, today's pizza day. World Pizza Day. You know, we got my boy Johnny in the chat. I see you, bro. Thanks for being here. Um,
Yeah.
what else? What else? Yeah, thank you to Dinika here for interviewing me. She has been a really nice host for all the interviewees and
Yeah.
interviews that she's done. Definitely big up to you on that. Some nice hard work. But it seems like you definitely do enjoy it. Big
I do.
smiles. Yeah, it's always good talking to other creators, right? We seem like we have the same minds almost, same kind of struggles almost, you
Same
know?
struggles, same considerations. We here together doing it.
Yep,
Um, Jonathan says he's looking forward to meeting you again. Um, and I really hope you all enjoy the interview and you all got to understand a little bit of more about the artist. Go
yeah,
follow his page as he said, Pineapples and Pizzas Studio. Find him wherever you all could find him and follow, and support his work, and when he drops things, support it. And stay tuned for what else we have to explore here at ECAD Enterprises and through the fellowship. I'm personally excited to see you launch, like officially. Well, I guess it will be like a relaunch.
yeah.
Um,
Well, continue the work that I've been doing.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. And I'm sure there are going to be a lot of ways that we can also collaborate in the future.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday. I might see some of you all later. I don't know. Isaiah,
Yeah,
enjoy it. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Take care.
guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.